Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So we're in the middle of joyful June, and if you're just joining us, you're right on time. Choose joy now, right? Like, I'm going to choose joy despite the sound in the background of the TV, because there's nowhere else I'd rather be than with my Jules Blessed Vegan community. So hey, what's up? Anyway, for Joyful June, and again, it doesn't matter if it's June, it doesn't matter what day it is, choose joy and implement any of these. Today, it was to recognize the upside of COVID, really, the upside of being quarantined, the upside of having too many rules placed on us, the upside of having some of our rights temporarily taken away. Is there an upside to any of that? And we were encouraged to find an upside. For me, I decided there's no question that nature was the number one thing for me. Getting out and walking on the track every time I was at school, even though there were no children playing and no recess, because normally I would walk like during PE. There was no PE. I made my own PE. Another one was just the love that people expressed by just making sure that they were checking on each other far more often. Making sure that they were calling home, calling siblings, calling parents, just checking in and saying, hey, are you okay? And even on social media, the different posts where people had that one that just said, check in, and then everyone would report how they were doing. I thought that was lovely. Unfortunately, some of those lessons that we were learning didn't stick. And I know that because I'm one of the few people still wearing a mask in public, and people are being pushy again and less than lovely, right? I'm sorry for that. But for those of us who already were polite in public, already had good hearts, I think it'll continue. But it was refreshing for people to check on each other more often. So for tomorrow, the Joyful June objective is an excellent question. One moment, please. That's totally hilarious because, of course, I check before I start the video, but I'm on fry somehow. We'll have to see how that plays out. Anyway, it is to find a joyful way of being physically active, whether it's indoors or out, a joyful way of being physically active. It might be different than what you normally do. So for me, I make sure that I get in my steps. Right now, I'm doing 10,000 a day for those who can't, like some people in my life whose limbs aren't working at the moment. But in hopes that they will, I'm offering up a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. But part of the way I get those steps is most certainly on the rebounder. And I average about 100 jumps, if you will, per minute. So it takes me quite a while. Luckily, I got to 4,000 steps naturally today, so I still need to do 6,000 more. Get to, because my body's working, and at times in my life it certainly hasn't. I get to do 6,000 more, which would be about 60 minutes. I'm going to try and speed up and see if I can get it down. Here's my goal. I'll let you know tomorrow if it works out. I'm going to say 53 minutes. 53 minutes. I can do it. I'll let you guys know. For that, I'm thrilled to be getting the exercise, and I definitely want to be honoring my body as a temple. But it really is to just proclaim to the universe that I have a niece and nephew who need their limbs, and that I am willing to offer up all of this time, all of this effort, all of this prayer for that miracle to happen sooner rather than later. Bring it, Father. Okay, so that is the story for tomorrow. Find a joyful way of being physically active indoors or out. And I was thinking maybe different than usual. So yes, I love rebounding. Yes, I like to walk. But I am going to absolutely get in, I'm going to say 10 minutes of dancing. So I'm going to put on some of my favorite tunes. And I am just going to feel the joy of music in my body. Because I love to dance and I love music, but sometimes when I'm in business mode, I don't make the time for that. And I'm going to choose to do that because that would just make me super happy. What else? I'm gonna commit to that 10 minutes of fun dancing. But for my animals, I could certainly bring my 5 dogs out. I could certainly run one of my horses, which would be great. But no matter what, I will dance. There will be dancing. Yes, there will. All right, so that's it. What else do I want to share? I struggled today. Oh my goodness, seriously. I don't know why. I was exceptionally tired at different points. And TMI, but I feel like it's a phantom period. I don't have my period right now, but I think this is like kind of usually my normal time. And I know this will gross some of you out. It's not what you're thinking. It'll gross you out that all of a sudden meat as in dead animals, smelled good and it almost looked appealing as I was preparing it for my family. And that's not true for me anymore, but I do remember when I was on a regular cycle, I would totally just crave animal protein. And let's be fair, animals was all I ate for my protein. I wasn't a big fruit and vegetable person, so I'm hoping in time that will be my only desire. But for the moment, I was like, wow, this smells really good. Then I calmed down and thought, okay, dead animals. And then I had to say, are you getting like all your iron? Like, where are you at? But it was just for a moment. And luckily, I have so many tools. I'm super stoked to have my stickers on my calendar and knowing that I'm easily going to start this second week of clean stickers and calendar time and that physical visual witness to what's right. And then, of course, as I suggested, I have my urge jar. Can you dig? Look how much it's filling up. Remember I just started this like a second ago and there was only a few? Yeah, let's just say I've had a lot of urges. And I paid myself double because my monkey mind, that whole meat thing, and then my husband had candy, and the candy was the same candy we had on our honeymoon. So, of course, I need to have that. No, I don't. But, there was just stuff like that. And I was hearing this, let's do it, Mom. And I was like, yeah, that's a no, monkey. All right, so I used all of my tools. I was super proud for that. And I will absolutely hit those 10,000. For a moment, I was thinking, I can eat whatever I want. I always do this, right? It's been 8 days. I get around 8, 9, 10 days. I freak. And then I was like, no, sorry, no. Because also, okay, yeah, so I'm doing the exercise to ask God for the grace to heal the limbs of my niece and nephew and anyone else in need in that way. Because whenever I pray for a deliberate intention, I pray for the planet and all people in the same circumstance. So no, it wasn't just for my niece and nephew. But then I was like, well, I mean, you're already offering up the exercise, so you don't have to be on with your food every day. Like, this is how it goes, man. I just started obsessing. I was going nuts. We had to go to the grocery store. I had to run another errand. I found myself alone in a store, which is always trouble with money. Yeah, that's a problem. Praise God I didn't act on it. But then I did have a conversation with myself regarding the food. And what I was saying was, there are a gazillion people on this planet who do not have enough food. And sadly, there are what are referred to as food deserts. And I'm sure I've done a video on that, and I'll put it in the description of this one, where it's food deserts, where they only have access to junk food, drive-thrus, and fried foods. There's not a healthy, natural, God-given piece of food for miles. It is called a food desert. And that is not my story. And God was like, Juliana, you are so blessed. You have a husband who supports you. You have a husband who encourages you to get food that's good for you. And you're dreaming about toxic waste on a shelf? Yeah, that's not good. And then I made an amends to my dad. I called my dad Father too, but to my dad in heaven, to say, Dad, I'm so sorry for how much money I wasted. Like, for a while, I was the last kid in the house, and he wanted to keep encouraging me, to get well and to lose my weight and everything else. And I wasted so much of his money because inevitably I'd be binging somewhere else, right? So I said, Father, may I make an amends to you now? Can anyone relate at all? I would love to know. All right, my friends, that's it. Stay joyful. It is still June. Like if you like, join us if you haven't. Subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you with prayer or any other request. And until we talk again, know that you're blessed.